Hello everybody, welcome to the Kistel webinar about co-creation. Today we will talk about not only about co-creation with consumers, but most important about the Deutsche Telekom with their concept of the Ideenschmiede. So first of all, I already described a bit what we will talk about today. Most important, we will short and briefly explain who we are, what we're doing, why collaboration with customers is a great thing and what you can learn from it, how the Deutsche Telekom is collaborating with their consumers, and most important, what are the right tools in order to collaborate with your consumers, in order, of course, to get the desired results, and when to start leveraging with co-creation and your consumers. What's the right point to start? What is the foundation you need in order to be successful in the end? And where to begin. So first I will introduce, of course, Lara. Lara is heading the Deutsche Telekom Ideenschmiede team. She's responsible for the entire Ideenschmiede and taking care of 18,000 consumers developing, co-creating together with the Deutsche Telekom. Myself, I'm Jan Fischer. I'm one of the co-founders of innosabi. And today I'm as well the co-CEO of innosabi, and I will guide you through the presentation and will be your host for the next half an hour and a bit more. So first of all, around innovation and legal tech and IP tech, at Kistel we have three different pillars of products or product lines, you can describe them. There's the product line called Orbit. Orbit is everything around services and technology with IP, intellectual property, whether it's translating, renewing intellectual property, or analyzing this. Then, of course, we have a product suite called Ascent. It's around legal tech. And then there's the entire product suite around innovation called innosabi. Today, we will talk about one product out of the entire product range of innosabi. The product community, and for innosabi we have worldwide over 20,000 clients in over 30 countries, and of course it's one of our main ideas. Every profitable IP starts with a successful innovation process, and now let's dive a bit into the topic of innovation. So first, in today's world we are somehow competing on the rate of learning. The faster an organization can learn, the more success it will have in the future. Of course, you are competing based on the technology you have, based on the price, based maybe on the region you can serve, you can deliver your products. But most important, this is somehow changing compared to the past decades. Every organization competes based on the rate of learning. The faster you can learn, the more successful you are. And in order to be a fast learner and to achieve somehow a fast rate of learning, you have to make sure that your innovation efforts are scalable. You have to make sure that you not only have one or two different innovation projects in your pipeline, you need to scale them. Maybe you need to have 100 or a few hundred or thousands of different ideas, innovation and concepts into your innovation funnel in order to be successful in the end. And the more innovations you have in your funnel, the better you can find the best ideas, the best concepts, which will then later on have the biggest impact for your organization. But to learn fast, you need to reach out to people outside and inside of your organization. Always keep in mind, there are more people and more knowledge outside of your organization than inside of your organization. Just keep in mind that we have billions of people not being part of your organization, and some of them, they may help you. They have some specific knowledge, some specific expertise, and you have to reach out to your external network in order to leverage this information and to make sure that you're staying ahead of the competition, because you get the best information from your suppliers, from universities, from your B2B customers or your consumers. Once you gather all those informations, you will tap into new perspectives. You will learn new skills and you'll have a bigger base of knowledge. All this is very relevant because with the bigger set of knowledge and more perspectives and skills, you could easily stimulate and expand your ideation processes. You will have more ideas, more radical innovations, and in some you will have a bigger variety of different ideas and concepts within the early phases of your innovation process. And of course, if you have a lot in your funnel, you need to make the best decision. You need to evaluate ideas, you have to compare them, and you need to identify the relevant ideas early in the beginning in order to concentrate on them and to execute them in a very efficient manner and hit the market as soon as possible with the biggest success that you can have possibly. I already talked about the innovation software suite, and it's a true end-to-end innovation software suite. Innovation usually begins very, very early in a fuzzy front end of innovation. It's called fuzzy front end because you never know whether the new innovation comes from a new technology, from a patent behavior of your competitor. Maybe it's a new need, or it's a trend who is changing markets and the behavior of customers. This fuzzy front end, you need to manage this, and you need to be aware what is changing early in the beginning in order to adapt your processes and your strategies later on. Therefore, we have a specialized product called Innosabi Insight. Innosabi Insight is managing the fuzzy front end of innovation. Once you identified the source of maybe a new process, and a new product, a new technology in Insight, you will then later on build an innovation challenge or an entire innovation program on it. And therefore, we have a specialized tool called Innosabi Idea. Innosabi Idea is the tool you use together with all the employees within your organization in order to get the best out of the capabilities within your organization. Starting ideation processes, making sure the ideas you have will solve the need of the consumers, develop those ideas into concepts, into innovations, and making sure they will hit the market later on. In order to be successful in the market, of course, you need to double check whether your idea and concept somehow really fits the need and suits the market. And therefore, we have two additional products called Innosabi Community, optimized for developing together with your consumers, and Innosabi Partner, optimized developing and innovating together with universities and suppliers. Maybe B2B customers, depends on the organization. We can easily go into details maybe later on. And then, of course, there's a vast variety of startups worldwide. All those startups, you should monitor them, and you need to know which startup may be your partner later on, or maybe it's a future competitor. Therefore, there is Innosabi Startup. It's kind of like a CRM system, but with a very extensive set of functionality in order to manage the entire deal flow, how to work together with startups, and to somehow streamline the co-creation with startups. So you can make sure that once you are already engaging with a startup, that everybody inside your organization knows who is in touch with the startup, that maybe all NDAs are signed, that there are contracts in place, and that they are open to reach out to them, or if they need to sign an NDA before. And therefore, you can somehow streamline your collaboration with startups. All those different tools and all those different processes and communities will boost your entire innovation process. It would fill it up with lots of ideas and concepts. And therefore, you need a very strong tool in order to deliver your process towards your ideas towards the market. This is the part of Innosabi Tech. It's about your entire technology portfolio and the portfolio of your innovation process, your innovation concepts. They need to be realized and executed. And therefore, this is the perfect tool. So talking about customer integration and innovation. First of all, why should you reach out to consumers? Because a consumer usually, he only uses your product. He doesn't know anything about it. He has no clue how the production process, he has no clue about the technology. So what's the reason working together with consumers? So first of all, 80% of all new products in the fast-moving consumer good industry are not successful, so they are flop. The entire money and entire time which was invested or has been invested into bringing this concept to life is wasted because the product is not successful in the end. Only 20% of all fast-moving consumer good products are successful. That's the reason. And now the question is why? Why is that happening? What's the reason for that? So first of all, if you have line extensions, if you have new products, close to zero fast-moving consumer good companies are reaching out to their employee, to the consumers, just double-checking whether they like the flavor, the color, the product itself, the new process, maybe to validate that there actually is a need. If you do not solve the need for the consumer will later on not buy your product. And maybe this is the biggest impact you can potentially have, making sure early in the beginning that the product you are developing and the money you are investing will be a success later on, by making sure that there is no trade-off between the consumer needs and your product. It has to be 100% aligned. And if a consumer is part of your development process, then you will have an extremely high bonding between the product and the consumer. In the end, if the product hits the market, the consumer will tell his friends, his family, his colleagues that this product is only there because he helped you in developing this product. He will claim that this is his product because he has developed it. And if you not only have 100 people, but maybe 18,000 people saying, this is my product, I'm the reason that because this product is actually here and is successful, this is the best situation you could potentially have, because then it's not kind of advertising, because you have really ambassadors for your product. They love your brand, they love your product, and therefore they will make sure that your product will be successful in the market. So, and now the reason I explained, the reason why you should reach out to consumers, and the specialized product for that is, of course, innosabi community. It's the product reaching out to consumers, co-creating together with them products and services. Maybe we'll talk about a lot about products, but just keep in mind you can develop processes, letters, invoices. You can develop everything because a consumer later on sees, works with, maybe interacts with. So it can be close to everything. And yeah, and now let's maybe hand over to our guest, to Lara. Lara will demonstrate and explain what the Telekom Ideenschmiede is. It started in 2018 until now. They have 18,000 consumers working together with the Deutsche Telekom. And for me, very important is it's not only a project, it's not a campaign, it's nothing which you do only for a few weeks, a month. It's an ongoing process. It's part of the strategy and part of the strategy of the Deutsche Telekom, how to interact together with consumers. And yeah, let's hand over to Lara. Thanks for being here with us, and the stage is yours, Lara.
Thanks a lot for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Lara Löhrer. I'm project lead of our co-creation community Ideenschmiede at Deutsche Telekom in Germany. But before we start, let me give you a brief overview of Deutsche Telekom. On the next slide, you can see some facts and figures. It's one of the world's leading integrated telecommunications companies with over 240 million mobile customers, 27 million fixed network lines, and 22 million broadband lines. Deutsche Telekom is present in more than 50 countries, of course not everywhere called Deutsche Telekom, but for example, you may recall it as T-Mobile in the US, Magenta in Austria, or OTE in Greece. With a staff of more than 220,000 employees throughout the world, we generated revenue of more than 1 billion euros in 2020, and about 66% of it outside Germany. But so that we can continue being successful, we are already evolving from a traditional telephone company into an entirely new kind of service company. Our core business, like for example, the operation and sale of networks and connections, remains the basis, but at the main time, we are proactively committing to business areas that open up new growth opportunities for us. And on top of that, we strive for leadership in customer experience as key differentiator from our competitors. By nurturing the relationship with our customers and offering them unforgettable experiences, by rewarding them, by surprising them, and by making our customer lives easier, entertaining them, and becoming an integral part of their daily routine. That said, Ideenschmiede is one element to involve customers into the development and improvement of products, processes, and services. But let me give you a brief overview on what is Ideenschmiede. In a nutshell, it is an online community with surveys, polls, discussions, as well as the possibility to create workshops to obtain direct and qualitative customer feedbacks. That said, it's not an alternative for market research, but it is a super easy way to give those responsible for the development and improvement of products, services, and processes a chance to talk and listen to customers every time they need it throughout the whole development. Founded in 2018, we established a central place for our customers' ideas and suggestions about Deutsche Telekom. And we're still the only platform in Germany in the telco industry that uses that kind of community for its purposes. So if we can go on, then I can tell you a little bit how we work with our customers on the basis of Ideenschmiede. First of all, we have the idea box. There, our customers can place their ideas and suggestions. We can read them, double check whether it's something entirely new and whether it's worth keeping a closer look at, and then collaborating with our customers. And we do that fully open. So everyone in the community can see at which status the idea currently is. Then we have other formats where we're like ask from our colleagues whether they would like to do projects such as surveys, polls to get a flavor or feeling how customers look at their projects, at their products, features, and so on. And we can invite our community to co-create and to collaborate with us within workshops or interviews in a one-to-one basis. Especially in our workshops, we use design thinking methods in order to work on simple or tricky questions and to build the basis to create something entirely new. And we did that on site and also in fully virtual format in times of COVID. So it really helped us keeping and staying in touch with our customers. Now we prepared some insights into our live community. Oh, not yet. Now we have some facts and figures. As you can see, we have almost 18,000 active users in our community that are willing to give us insights, feedback, opinions, and to really collaborate with us on more than 240 different projects, or as we call it, topics. At the number of ideas and comments, you can see it's really used. It's not just like Jan said, a campaign or something like that. We really encourage our customers to tell us what they think and how we can steadily improve or get new ideas. And now we will switch to the live platform. I'm really sorry, it is, as we are operating in the German market, entirely in German, but it should give you a short feeling and a short description how it works. We have everything you need to know when entering the platform for the first time, our landing page, and we already show where you can work with us and what we've achieved so far. So it's quite easy if you want to work with us on the Magenta Mobile prepaid project. You just have to click on it and log in. If you're doing that for the first time, of course, you have to register so that we have the chance to get to know you. And if you're already a registered member, then you can start collaborating with us. This is a classical survey, so it gives our colleagues a first hint how to call different options and how to proceed with this project further on. Then we have other possibilities. Now you could see your personal dashboard. So I'm welcomed as a member in our community. I can see what project I should attend, what are the latest news and what are the latest comments on the platform. And you can also see what we have achieved so far. This is something that's really important for us because we have no incentive, like you get a certain amount of money for collaborating with us, but we see that our customers feel valued by the fact that we implement their feedback and that we are maximum transparent on how we were able to work on their feedback. And so as you can see, here are some projects that we were able to implement after having had some customer feedback in the Ideenschmiede. You can see our feedback blogs or news, like we call it, and so you have the chance to see what are the latest news, what's happening, and now you can see here we've implemented exactly that, and that's also how we give updates, news, how we push information. It's not only on the platform, but if you are following a certain project, then you get push notifications via email. This is our weekly newsletter where we invite our customers to participate in newest, latest projects. And so this is not everything that we could do. We know there are so many features innosabi Castell is offering, but this is how we collaborate with our customers. So now I think we can go on with the presentation. After the facts and figures, as you may recall, we're working with that community because we really want to achieve remarkable changes. I have two examples for you. The first one is one of our most popular products. It's Magenta TV. And we were able to find new priorities for the new tariff portfolio, what kind of content should be included, what are our consumers or customers expecting. We also got hints that they would like to use it not only on our receivers, but on other devices such as Apple TV. And we were able to keep on or start discussions with some other providers on the basis of that. And we also had an open discussion with the whole product management of Magenta TV in order to get new inspirations, to give feedback on burning questions, because we have some really interested customers that are, to be honest, really into the details of the product, how to use it, what they would like to have on top. So this was a great chance for our product managers to really get in touch and in interaction with our customers. But we are not only developing products, we are also trying to improve processes that are of real importance for us as a company. The main reason why our customers are contacting our service centers is because they do not know how our billing process or how the bill works, and how to read it, how to understand it, especially if there are changes from month to month. So we were able to create a whole new and more intuitive design. We got requirements regarding payment reminders, how our customers want to be reminded that there is a bill due. And we also included in our customer app FAQs and an archive for bills of the recent months. and we discussed with them how we can send out credit notes via SMS and email, and we're able to really reduce those contacts related to the bill. So that said, I really want to show you that it's not only about the newest innovation. You can really make improvements and changes on things where each and every customer is able to give you feedback. And that is something that's the core of what we're doing. What do our customers say? There's one quote that really stuck in my mind, because I think it's the best quote to tell why we're doing this. I'd much rather be a member than just a consumer. I want to help shaping things, contribute ideas, accompany implementations, and not just consume. So this is one of the reasons why I say, why miss the chance and take those interested customers, those interested people outside of your company, outside of development processes. There's so much information you can receive. And as I said, there's no incentive program, but it's a give and take. So we involve them into our business, and on the other side we give them the feeling being valued, being heard, and yeah, I think it's a great win-win for both sides. What does Ideenschmiede mean for the whole company? Our CEO, Tim Höttges, said at the last stakeholder meeting, always putting customers at the focus, all our products and internal processes are aligned accordingly. And in our Ideenschmiede, we work together with customers on new product. In order to delight customers, I'm quite sure it's key to listen to them, to work with them. And for us, Ideenschmiede is a great way. Is it the only way? Definitely not. You will always need other formats, other feedbacks, especially in cases of quantitative feedback. But it really helps, and it changed our employees' mind how easy it can be to ask 1 to 5 or 5,000 people. It's so easy, and therefore we will definitely keep on working with that community in the way we are used to.
Lara, that's I really like your story. It's yeah, it makes me smile because it's fun to see how you interact with the community and so on, and that you're at the end very successful. I would like to discuss that a bit and elaborate how you organize internally, how you make sure that the entire organization can benefit from the Ideenschmiede. First of all, can you describe your project team? Who's taking care of the entire community? How much time do you spend? Who's responsible for what? So what is your team doing? So actually to bring this concept to life.
Okay, perfect. Yes, our project team consists of 5 people, including me. We are doing everything it takes to keep this community up running. So it means acquire interesting projects within our organization, to do or implement the polls, to help colleagues prepare and organize the workshops, the interviews. We're communicating to our whole community on a weekly basis, and within Ideen Box on a daily basis. So I have an additional community manager within my team, because it is key that you really take care answering each and every idea our customers want to share with us. And of course, it's also communicating that this kind of community exists to our customers, to our colleagues. And of course, we take care that each project that was once within Ideenschmiede is follow up in certain amount of time, so that we can give constant feedback to the community. So that's what we are basically doing, there's so much on top of it. So I could talk about that maybe for hours, but that's what we are doing in the core.
So in a typical day, how much time do you spend on or your team spend on the platform in moderating and communicating with the community? Is it a very specific big amount of time, or is it more or less several short touch points over the day? Well, how do you operate that?
We have one colleague who's in charge of the community management, and I would say he is spending 50 to 70% of his daily work on the platform interacting with customers. And on top of that, it depends. It's quite easy to configure the surveys, polls. So I would say it depends how much you're interacting with your customers. Our community is quite big. I know you have other customers working with smaller communities. But I would suggest everyone who's interested to at least have one person in charge that is in direct customer contact during the whole day.
Okay, and in your day-to-day life, what is the biggest challenge? Is it more facing towards the community, growing the community and keeping them engaged? Or is it more the managing of the Ideenschmiede internally? So explaining what you're doing, making sure that there are new projects and the finding from projects will somehow be realized. What is more tricky for you?
I think the trickiest part is making sure that customer feedback is not only heard, but implemented. It's not always what you expect that our customers say or your customers say. Yeah, it's not always that easy to follow up on that. And to be honest, it takes quite some time, especially if there are IT systems involved that has to be changed in order to entirely implement customers' feedback. So this is what we're dealing with a lot. So I would say it's 50% communicating and collaborating with the community, and on the other side, following up and filling the funnel of new interesting projects internally.
Okay. Then you have a very nice quote from the CEO. How important is, from your point of view, the top management backing for such a program?
It is key because it has to be clear in everyone's mind that it is of such an importance to listen to customers. And if you say, I want your feedback, then you have the duty to follow up on that. And it's always easier if you have the backing from the management, because it helps you making it popular, making it known in your organization. And of course, it's value and it's great for our customers, because we had several workshops where especially, or even our top management attended and was in lively discussions. As I remember, it was last year when our head of finance entered into a billing discussion. So that was really great for him to really work with the customer and see what they expect and what are the hurdles. And on the other side, for our customers to get an idea how important that topic is for our organization and for the management.
I didn't know that. That sounds fun. Was there ever kind of a discussion about the ROI? Because you're investing a lot into 5 full-time equivalent, you're investing a lot into the technology. How's the ROI discussion going on within the Telekom internally? Can you share some insights about that?
It's funny because usually if you're asking an external agency to do that kind of workshop, that kind of survey, then you always pay money for that. So this is one argument, and another one is I don't think that you can put it into figures how much value there is for customers being heard. And there are so many ideas, suggestions, hints this community gave us. I really can't imagine where we could have got that feedback. So it was triggered by our customers. We didn't even ask them to give us that feedback. No, at the moment we don't have that kind of discussion, but I am looking forward to it when it pops up, how we can go on with that.
Okay. Talking about the community, is there kind of an incentivation for the entire community, or are they working for fun with you? What's the reason? What's their motivation?
Of course, they're doing fun because especially our workshops are really great entertainment. And yeah, I think you should enter on, and then you know what I'm talking about. We have no incentive program because we said we don't want to pay for, or we don't want to pay for feedback because those that are in our community really want to give it, not because they earn money for it, but they can see the process, how we work with that feedback. Of course, if you are willing to spend 1 hour in an interview or 4 hours in a workshop with us, there is some form of incentivation. But in general, they do it because they are interested, and there is not so much opportunity in other companies to involve like that. So yeah, it's intrinsic motivation. Yeah.
Okay. And I need to come to an end, but two more questions. You used a lot the word workshop. Have you ever met your community in real life? So have you sat with them together in one room discussing maybe concepts or prototypes? So, or is it only virtually with over the platform?
We met our community or parts of our community on at several times. Unfortunately, that was before COVID and before I took over the responsibility for this community. But yeah, it was great fun, and we already invited them to fairs, and to get this whole feeling and to be part of this event on top of taking place or taking part in one of our workshops. Yes, we did that, and we really tried to keep up that exchange, especially with those heavy users or really frequent members. And yeah, we kept that also in virtual formats.
Okay, and now my last question. Of course, you will have plans, you will have a strategy for the future, but let's imagine in 5 years, can you describe how it feels to see the Ideenschmiede? What will the kind of projects you're doing? How big is your community? How big is the impact on the organization? So what's your picture of the future about the Ideenschmiede?
My picture of the Ideenschmiede is that there is no question whether we should ask customers or not. And if or when we do so, we will definitely do that via our Ideenschmiede community. To be honest, I'm not sure whether the community has to be double the size or even bigger, because it depends on the people that work with us and that are willing to do so. Yeah, I really want that everyone says it's so easy to ask customers, so there's no reason not to do it. That would be my ideal picture. And of course, we are able to decide whether or not a new product should be implemented on the basis of that.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Lara. Let's switch into the last slides of the presentation. And yeah, that was a brief overview of how you can work together with communities. We haven't touched the topic of a supercharger. This is another possibility you have. It's reaching out to 2 million consumers worldwide very easily without giving, without telling them who you are, what you're working on. So very interesting method as well. Then, of course, there's another neat topic we haven't touched. Of course, you have the possibility to test superchargers. We upload Envision prototypes, and then you can use the click dummies, give direct feedback, whether you understand how to use the click dummy, whether you understand what the click dummy actually does, and give feedback on whether the concept is suiting your needs or not. And then, of course, Lara mentioned that already, you can perform customer surveys. Sometimes you do not need to have just answers, you need to have a rating, grading, maybe you need the questionnaire in order to get a better gut feeling whether you should invest into a certain topic or not. And yeah, then of course, if you have lots of data, you need to analyze those data. This usually are all functionalities you can see in the backend, so in the management interface. And then of course, there's many, many more we haven't touched today, but it was not important for today's meeting. Yeah, we already talked about the end-to-end innovation suite. We will have more webinars covering other products so that in the end you can see how all products are fitting into each other and that the entire chain is seamless and works pretty neatly together. And of course, maybe this is important for you as well. We try to serve on the high security standards that you could possibly have. Usually the data stored in Europe is stored in Germany. It's entirely GDPR compliant. Of course, we can host on NATO impact level IL6 up to IL6, which is one of the highest security level you could potentially have. And then, of course, where there is in the entire value chain, no non-EU technology provider or supplier involved, so that we are among Schrems 3 already 100% compliant. And yeah, that's it for today's webinar. Thank you for participating. In case you have questions, reach out to Lara, reach out to me. We are happy to answer your questions, and feel free to join the next webinar about innovation. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.